Hey Rick, it's great to be with you.
Nice to be with you.
Thank you. You know, I'd love to learn a little bit more about your mental health, your story around mental health, and can we start with talking about Suzanne and your life together?
Absolutely. Well, we were married 35 years. She passed away 14 years ago, but she was a real leader in the family, oldest of 7. She taught 5th grade and 2nd grade with a real emphasis on reading.
Love it.
And we had the most wonderful marriage relationship, 4 kids, and we did a lot together. We had a good time.
Fabulous. 34 years.
Yeah.
Beautiful. What were some of your unique life stories that were like some milestones that the two of you had with your 4 kiddos?
Absolutely. Well, we didn't have kids for 6 years, for good reason. We did a lot together. We felt we were pretty good parents. We did a lot of camping with the kids. Milestones of the 4 children. Moving from New York to Montana for 12 years. And then was transferred by the then Northwest Bank to Minneapolis. And we enjoyed that very much. We loved getting together, doing getaways together. We did a lot of that before kids, and we were going to do it after kids.
Sure. And then there was a different story. How many years have you lived in Minnesota?
Oh gosh, 20 now.
20? Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I remember you telling me about Suzanne's illness.
Yes.
Do you feel comfortable sharing more?
I do, because it's quite the story.
Please.
So, we bought a camper. It was going to be the rest of our life, summertime. We used it twice. We used it in the summer with the kids, and then Suzanne and I took our first trip together, went camping southern Minnesota in the camper, and that's when she started having stomach challenges. And I'm going, what's wrong? Well, it's been hurting. Well, for how long? I mean, she was somewhat of a stoic. So long story short, got home and had the colonoscopy. There was a blockage and it was cancerous. So that started a whole series of events. Mayo, chemo. She had some really high hopes it could be cured, but it was one of those strange. It was so nasty. Once they found it was almost too late. So I got all the kids home, and then part of that, they kept doing surgeries, and then in December, literally, the surgeon said, there's nothing more we can do. Let us get you home, set you up in hospice. And the point of that is, years ago, I don't think the medical profession was as much, not in favor, but they thought, well, we can take care of it. No, total turnaround. You need hospice now. So part of that story is the surgeon told me, and I said, is there any way we could get the kids together? I can't tell him. Would you? And he did.
Oh.
So we get home, get everything all set up in front of the TV and our space heater and whatnot. And funny story, the nurse came in and had all the bandages. I mean, she had tubes, the whole bit. And she said, well, I'm here at 9 and I'm going to come back at 4 o'clock and do the second round. And Suzanne looked at her and said, you're not coming back at 4. That's when I entertain.
Oh, okay.
Teach my husband.
Okay.
I was a nurse at 7 o'clock at night.
Okay.
So that's part of her story. And then one other quick story. She said, Rick, we need a ping pong table in the living room. We have all the visitors, all the children. What are you still sitting here for? We need a ping pong table. That's how direct she was. But again, hospice was beautiful, as I'm sure many either have had it or they know of it.
Yeah,
so we just made the best of it.
Yeah. So, can you share a little bit about the grieving process?
Yes. I always say it takes effort, not necessarily work, but it does take effort.
Okay.
And the hospice people set me up with grief counseling with other people that had lost spouses. So there were 2 ladies and me, because there is nothing more unique than losing a spouse versus fathers, and
Yeah.
So I learned a lot, and I learned just how to keep managing it, and a lot of reading and a lot of support from my church, friends, and whatnot. And so I share that story because it can be done. It never goes away. It's just always there,
Yeah.
but you can make the best of it.
How do you remember her? Daily, weekly, annually? How do you
How do I do
remember?
now?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a veteran, so she's at Fort Snelling.
Love it.
I
Love
take her
it.
flowers every weekend.
Every weekend?
12 months.
Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Well, she gets a wreath at Christmas time.
Yeah. Special.
But no, I'm glad that she's there, and I go and visit and have a chit chat.
Yeah.
So it's comforting for that.
I'm wondering, a moment, how did you support your kiddos, your children?
Same. I mean, just
Yeah.
be available, set a good example.
Yeah.
We talk. They
Nice.
miss their mom, of course,
Mhm.
in different ways. Each of them in different ways. But it's just part of life. But again, they were home. I felt fortunate, and that's not the right word. They were all adults and working.
Oh, yeah.
Versus some families, you have little kids
Yeah.
or you have teenagers. At least mine were older. They had helped me. They helped me with her. They helped me drive. So
Sure.
some positives.
Yeah.
And we had some just wonderful conversations, knowing what was going to happen, and it happened so fast. So at the church is very full, and long story short, I wanted to have the visitation on a certain day at 4,
Okay.
the service the next day at 4, and then the interment. And they said, why? I said, 4 o'clock.
You told us, yes.
Then the kids can be there.
Oh, yeah.
So we get to church, and closed coffin up front, and the families came in, and all the kids kind of ran down and sat behind the coffin.
Precious.
See, that's special?
Precious. Precious.
Anyway.
You talked about the part that you had grief care. If MHC, if Mental Health Connect would have been around many years ago, do you think that would have been a support, a reach? How could you have used it?
150%. Yeah, I think Mental Health Connect, as we all know, the collaborative churches, they have great resources. The navigators, of course. I could say a lot about timing. So for example, you could say, well, 14 years ago, the procedures that they use, the research on cancer, now, so much better. I don't go there. There's no point.
Right.
But no, I think Mental Health Connect would have been significant. But even though not 14 years ago, but now, I take advantage of it.
Yes.
Totally.
Yes. That's, and you are a great voice of care as well yourself.
Thank you.
I've learned from you, definitely.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing a little about Suzanne and your family and your journey.
Thank you.